Hey everyone, it's Mike Fabiano coming to you from my kitchen on a crappy rainy day. But listen, this is Saturday night, whatever date it is, the 26th, I guess. And we're going to a really good family friend's house tonight for a graduation party for their oldest son. And being the true Italian I am, we can't come to any party or function empty-handed, so I've made something, and that's something I hope you enjoy. Being in my kitchen here, I'm going to go through it. Now, I actually already made it, but I screwed up and I made the video too long, so I'm going to have to run through this because I'm very long-winded. I'm Italian, I talk too much, I talk with my hands, as you can see that. But okay, so what I'm going to call this recipe is the FABs Ziti. Now, it's a super high-protein, low-fat, really pretty much healthy kind of baked ziti recipe. It was based on a lasagna recipe that I've modified over time, but you'll see in a minute why it's so high protein and low fat and pretty healthy. But I was thinking of calling it Gain Ziti. That's spelled G-A-I-N capital Z Z-I-T-I. So, but that sounds kind of corny. So we'll just stick with FABs Ziti for now. All right, so we're gonna get into this. So again, it was a lasagna recipe. You had your layers. I decided to make it into kind of a baked ziti type of a recipe, and you'll see why. So we start off with the pasta. Now, I can't find this pasta in lasagna noodles, so I found this at Walmart. I know you can find a high protein version of this at Target, maybe even Publix, but you're looking at 20 grams of protein per serving, and it's wheat, fava beans, chickpea, and lentil pasta. It's all vegetable source, so if you're well, my recipe's not vegan, but if you're a vegan looking for high protein, here you go. This is pretty good actually. So carbohydrates are, they are what they are, but there's good fiber content on this as well. Fiber is 8 grams per serving, so it's pretty high in fiber. All right, so we're gonna use this as our pasta, obviously. And then of course we're gonna have two other, let's call them layers that we're gonna put in there. Now, unlike a lasagna that is layered, the ziti is all mixed together. So let's not call them layers, let's call it, I don't know, we'll call it something else. So now we're going to talk about what we'll do, the cheese filling. So if you're doing lasagna, you have the cheese filling itself. So we're going to have that, and then we're going to have our sauce. So with the sauce, what we're going to need is, we're going to need 28-ounce can of crushed tomato, 28 ounces of crushed tomato. All right, you're going to need 6 ounces of tomato paste. All right, if you want to use organic, feel free to use organic. That's up to you. I'm cost-effective, easy guy, so I'll go with private label stuff. It's not a bother to me. Again, we're talking about the sauce now. You're going to need 1 medium brown onion, which I don't have, but you know what a medium brown onion is. You're going to chop that up nicely. You're going to need 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. It's up to you. I like to use 3 full pounds of lean. This is the extra lean. This is 93% lean, rather, ground turkey. You can use ground beef if you want, ground chicken, whatever you like. We like to use ground turkey, and this is the 93%, and I do use all 3 pounds. Now, what I'm going to show you that I made at the end, it's all incorporated in there. Again, we're talking about the sauce portion of this. So you have the brown onion. You're going to need some minced garlic, okay? I prefer to use the little jar thing here. If you want to crush your own garlic, feel free, but again, I'm saving time and hassle for myself. All right, so then you're going to have a few of your seasonings. We have some garlic powder. You have black ground pepper. We have Italian seasoning and paprika, which I like to use just to kick things up a little bit, and of course salt. All right, so use some salt. Definitely salt enhances. If you're sodium phobic, I get it. You don't want to use sodium, that's fine by you, but I know me, my kids, our friends, anytime that I serve something, I've used salt in my cooking. Most people never complain about having too much salt. It's not overly salty or too salty, however you want to say that. It seems to be spot on. So I like the salt to enhance flavor, but I definitely don't want to over salt anything I cook, but I do use salt. All right, so the last thing for the sauce is fresh basil. Now you're going to take fresh basil, you're going to use maybe 10 or 12 leaves, and you're going to chop those up nice and fine. All right, so that's going to go in your sauce. All right, so the next thing would be the cheese paste, if you will. And again, if you're doing, I said this before, if you're doing lasagna, you'd have layers, but we're not doing layers. We're just going to mix it all together. But the cheese portion of this, you're going to need several ingredients. First and foremost, you're going to use 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And this isn't grated. Yeah, this is grated. Okay, so grated Parmesan cheese. You're going to need 15 ounces of low fat ricotta. If you can find fat free, good for you. I can't, so this is low fat ricotta. believe it or not, I use feta cheese. This is a fat-free feta cheese. Okay, you can get this here in South Florida. You can get it at Publix. I actually got this at Walmart again, believe it or not. So fat-free, this is 6 ounces. I'll have the whole recipe in the description, by the way. I should have said that first and foremost, but it'll be down below. Then we're going to use 7 ounces, believe this, look at this, fat-free mozzarella cheese by Kraft. Fat-free mozzarella cheese. And we got the eggs here. 3 eggs, but we're only going to use egg whites. So just egg whites. So what we're going to do, in a bowl, you're going to take your 3 egg whites. You're going to take your 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. You're going to take your 15 ounces of low fat ricotta. You're going to take your 6 ounces of fat-free feta, if you can find it, low fat otherwise, or don't use it at all, it's up to you. And your 7 ounces of fat-free mozzarella. You're going to mix it all together in a bowl, set it aside. Okay, that's done. Now, of course, you have your pasta, which I generally just cook it low simmer, medium boil, whatever you want to call it, 10 minutes. Drain it, rinse it up a little bit, and you're good to go. Okay, so that's that. All right, now for your sauce, what you're going to do is you're going to take your onion, and you're going to take, well, first of all, you take a pan. You're going to need pretty much a deep dish skillet, okay, something deep dish, because you're going to make your sauce in this, all right? So you're going to heat this up for a bit, make sure it's warm. Put in a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil. Make sure the olive oil is heating, but don't get it smoky. You don't want to burn your olive oil. And then take your chopped up, diced up onion, medium onion, throw it in there. Get the onion cooked up till it's translucent, all right, not caramelized, but translucent. You know, you don't want it to brown. And then as it's becoming translucent, take a couple teaspoons, maybe 2-3 teaspoons, if you will, of your chopped garlic, your minced garlic, and throw that in. And let that cook just for a few minutes. You don't want to brown the garlic ever, all right? So we're not going to brown the garlic. We just want to cook it a little bit. Okay, now once that's done, and you're only looking total with the onions and the garlic and the olive oil, you're only looking at maybe about 5 minutes there. Throw in your ground turkey. I'm cooking on a medium heat, by the way. And then cook the ground turkey. And you can season the ground turkey a little bit if you want. You can throw in a little pepper, a little salt, just to get a little pre-season like I call it. Okay, now once your ground turkey is cooked, you're going to take your crushed tomatoes. Again, this is 28 ounces crushed tomato and your 6 ounces of tomato paste. You're going to throw that in. All right? You're going to stir that up, make sure it's incorporated. Once that's incorporated with your turkey and your onions and your garlic, then you can go ahead and start seasoning. A little bit of salt, you do it to taste. Paprika, if you want. I like it, gives it a little extra heat, not too much. I'm talking maybe a teaspoon or so in the whole mix, okay? Again, salt to taste if you want. Pepper the same way. Pepper to taste. I don't go crazy with my daughter, doesn't like spicy stuff, so I try not to go overboard with spice. Now, the Italian seasoning is one thing that I do like to go pretty heavy with. I like to see the season in the sauce itself, and it does give a great aroma, great flavor. So, you know, you can use a liberal amount of this. Don't go light with this, but again, do it to taste. I don't like to chew on it necessarily, but definitely to taste. Okay, then the last thing is I'll probably kick, oh, and I shouldn't say the last thing, there's one thing after this. I might kick the garlic up a little bit more with some garlic powder. That's just to throw a little bit. I don't like too much garlic. I don't like the aftertaste, but a lot of people do, and it's definitely flavorful, and we are cooking a bit of an Italian dish here, so spin on an Italian dish, so what the heck. And then the last thing, remember, you've chopped up, finely chopped up 10 to 12 basil leaves. So that'll come in last. Okay, so as you have your sauce cooking now, the turkey's been done, you threw everything in, you incorporate your ingredients, you're gonna let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and you're gonna stir consistently and let that reduce. You're gonna let that reduce. You got everything in there. Okay, now that this is done, your pasta's done, you got everything, you take a casserole dish. And with this recipe right here, you probably need a really big casserole dish. I actually had to use 2 small foil casserole dishes because it's just what I needed. So what you do is you mix it all together. You take your pasta, you take your cheese mix, and you take your sauce, you mix it all together, and there you go. Throw it into your oven at 325. Let that cook for 20-25 minutes, and you should be good to go. I bring it out of the oven, and I immediately cover it, let it set for a good, I don't know, maybe a good 20-30 minutes before I serve. So hang tight. I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. All right. Okay, so this is the second phase here. This is after we cooked. So I showed you the pasta, we went through the sauce and the cheese paste, if you will. Those are the 3 stages of the recipe. And now I'm going to show you the finished product. Now what you're going to do is you're going to, in whatever casserole dish you want or have, it's going to have to be pretty big though, because there's a lot of product here that you're cooking. You're looking at 325 for about 20-25 minutes. If it's, you know, big, no more than 30 minutes though, because when you cook the pasta, pasta's still going to be, even though you rinse the pasta, it's still going to be a little bit warm. And then the sauce is going to be hot, so that's going to start the cooking process anyway. So you don't need to go real crazy with baking, but you're going to go 325 for 20-25 minutes, no more than 30. And this is what you're looking at. Now again, I did this in 2 foil casserole dishes because we're going to the friend's home, and that's what you're looking at. So the pasta, you can see it's kind of browned nicely, the stuff on top. It's cooked very nicely. Smells fantastic. You can smell the garlic. You can actually see some of the feta in there, and of course the basil and the seasoning. And let me tell you, this smells great. Now remember, this is super high protein. You have, in the entire recipe, you have, sorry to be out of frame, but let me cover this back up because I want to keep it warm for tonight, because we're leaving in a little bit, believe it or not. You have, talk about high protein, you have 3 pounds of ground turkey in here. You had 3 egg whites. You had 7 ounces of fat-free cheese. The fat-free cheese alone is a 1/4 cup. There's 9 grams of protein right there. You have the pasta at 20 grams per serving, and the serving size, you guys can read all this yourself, I'm sure, but you're looking at 3.5 ounces of the pasta. That's dry, so it's different when you cook it, of course. But you know, hey, look, you're looking at a ton of protein. I would love. Again, the recipe will be in the description. Whoever is not lazy like me and wants to figure out the caloric content, the protein, the fat per serving, however, I would love to see it. Maybe someday I'll do it. I'm just, you know, not that motivated to check all that out. But listen, I hope you enjoy the recipe. This has been pretty much a favorite of ours. The kids love it. They eat healthy. They work out. I can make this generally on a Sunday. They have 2 or 3 days worth of this for lunches, maybe even some leftovers for dinner. I'll get into it. I work from home, so I'll get into it. But yeah, I mean, it's for the most part, the carbohydrates are pretty low, you know, a little bit from the pasta, obviously, with the fiber and the sauce. You get some from the tomato sauce, but for the most part, high protein, and the fat is pretty low because we didn't go crazy with any of the fats in here either. So I don't know what that is total. Again, maybe someone out there is willing to do it. Hey, look, if you like the recipe, I hope you try it. I hope you make it. Share your variations. If you're going to try different variations, I'd love to see what those are. Any suggestions, recommendations you have, again, if you want to use organic ingredients or beef or what have you, that's your choice. I shop for price, convenience, keep things cost effective. You know, single parent, 2 teenagers, eat me out of house and home. Money's always a factor. So listen, I hope you enjoy the FABs Ziti. I sincerely do. If you like this video, hey, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and if you like the video, hey, give us a like too. You have questions for me, hit me down in the comments, or you can email me at info@fabsupplements.com. One more time, please click that subscribe button, share this video, share the recipe, give me your comments, and hey, listen, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We're hopefully going to see some sun, possibly. I doubt it. We're in our monsoon season here down in Florida, but for the rest of you, have a great, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time. Take care.